Friend, imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world is quietly shifting, not with thunder or fire, not with headlines screaming doom, but in the still, unmistakable voice that speaks to the heart. He said he heard it in prayer, a message about November Fund 2025. Not fear, not judgment, but a wake-up call, a reminder that time is precious, and the body and soul we've been given are not accidents. They're a trust, a gift, a responsibility. And the question wasn't about prophecy or politics. It was simple. Are you taking care of what God gave you? That was the part that shook him, because after 50, many of us start feeling changes we didn't expect. Strength that once felt automatic begins to fade. Energy that used to be steady now dips. Joints remind us we're not 20 anymore. For women, hormones shift and bones need extra care. And for men, stamina and confidence aren't automatic like they used to be. It's not a punishment, it's a season. And like every season God designed, it comes with a purpose and a plan. What Jesus impressed on him was this: stewardship isn't just spiritual, it's physical too. The way you nourish your body matters. Whole living foods, fresh vegetables, colorful fruits, fiber-rich grains, clean water, sunlight on your skin. These aren't just diet ideas. They're tools God placed in creation from the very beginning. Move your body daily, even if it's just walking. A strong body supports a strong spirit. Rest isn't laziness. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places. Sleep repairs the body and resets the mind. Don't fight stress alone. Prayer calms what medicine can't reach. Surround yourself with uplifting company. Joy, hope, and gratitude are nutrients every bit as real as vitamins. And timing matters. Eat earlier in the day. Let your digestion rest at night. Step outside in the morning light to set your internal rhythm. When you feel discouraged by aches or slower steps, remember, Moses didn't lead God's people at 20. Abraham didn't fulfill his calling in his youth. God often saves the greatest strength for the second half of life if we're willing to partner with him. So when he said Jesus spoke about November Fund 2025, it wasn't a date of fear. It was a reminder that every day counts, especially now. You are not declining, you are refining. And if you listen, your body, your mind, and your spirit can rise stronger than before. Stay faithful, be gentle with yourself. Take action today. And remember, some callings arrive late, so the heart is mature enough to carry them. November Fund 2025, he said, wasn't about fear or headlines, but about a quiet conviction, a whisper in prayer reminding him that time isn't guaranteed and health isn't automatic. When God calls a person to wake up, it rarely comes with chaos. It often arrives softly, like a sunrise slowly pushing away the night. It was as if the message wasn't about a date on the calendar, but about readiness, stewardship, and recognizing that the body we live in is not simply flesh and bone, but a sacred trust. Too many people treat health like an afterthought, assuming they can coast through life while ignoring the temple they live in. But the truth is, after years of wear, choices matter more than ever. And the call wasn't complicated. It wasn't mystical. It was practical, almost ordinary, the kind of wisdom we already know, but postpone acting on until something startles us awake. Every breath is borrowed, and every heartbeat is a privilege. The message pressed on him was simple: take responsibility today. Tend to the vessel you've been given, because purpose requires energy and calling requires strength. If your body is tired, your spirit feels heavy. If your habits drain you, your faith feels foggy. This isn't punishment, it's design. A healthy body supports a sharp mind, and a peaceful spirit fuels courage. When we treat health as sacred, we begin to see food not just as fuel, but as creation offered for our benefit. Fruits that cleanse, vegetables that strengthen, grains that sustain, water that refreshes, none of it accidental. Movement isn't just workout culture, honoring the way the body was made to function. Muscles that move stay alive, lungs that breathe deeply stay strong, joints that bend stay flexible. Rest isn't weakness. Even the land was commanded to rest, so how could the body thrive without recovery? This gentle conviction wasn't delivered like thunder from a mountain. It was placed like a seed in the heart. Don't treat life casually. Don't postpone health until something scares you. Don't assume tomorrow will behave like today. Morning routines become gateways to strength. A glass of water before coffee, steps taken before screens, prayer before pressure, sunlight before stress. These aren't dramatic acts. They are quiet rebellions against neglect. They are the way to prepare not for disaster, but for purpose. Because the strongest servants aren't always the youngest. Often they are the ones who have learned discipline, patience, and humility over decades. The second half of life is not about fading. It is about refining. So when that date appeared in his prayer, it wasn't a warning of disaster, but a reminder that health is a choice renewed daily through small, faithful actions. The body is a gift. Life is a stewardship. Strength is not coincidence. And every day we are given is another chance to honor the gift we have been trusted with through nourishment, movement, rest, gratitude. And a heart that remembers where breath comes from aging after 50 isn't a sentence of decline. It is a shift in assignment, a time when the body begins to whisper where it once stayed silent, asking for gentler rhythms and wiser choices. So many people treat this season like a problem, as if strength slipping or energy changing means something is wrong. But in truth, this stage of life is a God-designed transition calling us to stewardship instead of speed, awareness instead of autopilot. Youth gives us momentum, but maturity gives us wisdom. And wisdom says, fuel the body differently now, rest with intention, move daily with purpose, nourish the spirit as faithfully as the flesh. God did not create the second half of life to be a shadow of the first. He created it to be deeper, richer, and more meaningful. But that requires partnering with the natural laws He built into our bodies. After 50, hormones shift, muscle needs more encouragement. Bones ask for minerals and sunlight, digestion slows and demands gentler foods. Sleep becomes a sacred tool rather than something taken for granted. These are not signs of weakness. They are signals as natural as seasons changing, reminding us that we cannot plow forever without tending the soil. When youth fades, clarity rises. We begin to see how years of hurried meals, late nights, skipped exercise, or stress held in the chest begin to show. And instead of resenting these changes, the wise person listens. The body speaks, choose whole foods, not convenience. Drink water like the gift it is. Walk in the morning light, breathe deeply, stretch, strengthen what's softening, protect the heart, physically and emotionally. God never asked us to sprint our entire lives. He asked us to endure, and endurance is built on balance, discipline, and peace. Nutrition becomes simpler in this season, not more complicated. Vegetables for vitality, fruit for healing, fiber for digestion, healthy fats for the brain, protein to preserve the muscle that protects your longevity. Food becomes medicine, and timing matters too. Eating earlier allows the body to rest at night. Fasting gently between dinner and morning gives the digestive system space to repair. Sleep, once ignored, becomes a pillar of health. It renews the immune system, calms inflammation, sharpens memory, steadies emotions. Movement no longer needs to prove anything. It becomes devotion, a way to honor the body rather than compete with the world. A daily walk, resistance exercises, mobility routines, breathing practices. These are simple, faithful habits that keep strength alive. And the spirit, so often neglected in youth, longs for consistency. Prayer softens the stress that tightens the body. Gratitude restores joy. Purpose lifts energy more powerfully than caffeine ever could. Community protects the heart from loneliness, which harms health as surely as poor diet. There is dignity in this season, a divine slowdown meant not for shrinking but for deepening. After 50, life is not ending, it is maturing, and with the right habits, this can become the strongest, clearest, and most spiritually fruitful season a person ever lives. The morning holds a kind of quiet power that many people overlook, especially after 50, when routine can become automatic and days can slip by without intention. Yet this season of life responds beautifully to rhythm, to gentle structure, to beginning the day with purpose rather than noise. There is something sacred about the first light touching the earth, something renewing about stepping into it before the world becomes loud. The body is more sensitive to timing now, more responsive to routine, more grateful when we treat each morning as a reset instead of a rush. Hormones that once managed themselves now rely on our cooperation, and the right start each day can influence mood, metabolism, focused digestion, and emotional balance. That is why beginning with prayer or quiet reflection before screens and stress isn't just spiritual discipline. It is neurological nourishment, calming the nervous system, lowering stress hormones, creating space for clarity instead of chaos. Hydration becomes more important with age, not less, and something as simple as drinking water first thing can awaken digestion, lubricate joints, refresh the brain, and signal the body that the day is beginning. A warm drink like herbal tea or lemon water is gentle on the stomach, soothing and supportive to the liver and metabolism. Then comes movement, not heavy strain or forced intensity, but slow stretching, mindful breathing, a short walk, light resistance, anything that tells the muscles and joints, we are alive today and we will move. Morning movement stabilizes blood sugar, increases circulation, protects muscle, improves balance, and wakes up the brain. It strengthens posture, encourages good oxygen flow, and sets a tone of strength rather than stiffness. The sun itself is part of the therapy. Early light helps regulate the body's internal clock, improving sleep at night, balancing hormones, boosting natural mood chemicals, and supporting vitamin D levels essential for bones, immunity, and cognitive function. Breakfast in this season becomes less about tradition and more about purpose. Instead of fast, sugary, heavy foods that weigh down the morning, lighter nourishment with protein, fiber, and natural nutrient supports sustained energy and stable metabolism. Whole grains, nuts, fruit, seeds, clean protein sources, warm cooked vegetables in colder months, these are choices that feed vitality instead of fatigue. But equally important as food is the pace with which we begin. Slowing down, breathing, reading something uplifting, practicing gratitude, planning the day with simplicity instead of overwhelm. Stress in the morning sends ripples through the whole day, tightening muscles, raising blood pressure, making digestion sluggish, draining energy. Peace, however, multiplies strength. The morning is a time to set the tone spiritually and physically to decide whether the day will be reactive or intentional. And in this stage of life, intention is where power lies. When we choose prayer before pressure, movement before stiffness, water before caffeine, sunlight before screens, and nourishment before convenience, we align with how the body was designed to thrive, especially now when every small choice carries greater weight and every gentle habit becomes an investment in strength, clarity, joy, and longevity. Food has always been one of God's simplest and most powerful gifts, created not just for pleasure but for strength, healing, and long-lasting energy. In a world where processed meals and sugary snacks are everywhere, it's easy to forget that the body was never designed for chemicals and convenience. It was designed for living foods, for nourishment that comes from the soil, the vine, the tree, the seed. After 50, every choice we make at the table holds more weight than it did in our youth, not because the body is failing, but because it's wiser now, more sensitive, more reactive to what we feed it. When we give it wholesome fuel, it responds with clarity, steadiness, and vitality. When we overload it with refined sugars, heavy oils, and constant eating, it grows weary, inflamed, and sluggish. The wisdom here is simple: eat what God made, not what factories shaped. Colorful fruits, leafy greens, clean proteins, nuts, legumes, roots, grains. These foods support digestion, stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and strengthen immunity. They carry life, and the body recognizes them like an old friend. And timing matters just as much as the plate itself. Eating earlier in the day allows metabolism to work during active hours rather than late at night when the body needs rest. When we finish the last meal a few hours before sleep, digestion can reset and the liver can do its night work of cleansing and repair. Many people feel tired, not because they lack energy, but because their digestive systems are overloaded without rest. That's why simple principles like finishing dinner early, resisting the habit of constant snacking, and giving the stomach time to reset between meals can make such a difference in energy, clarity, and weight balance. Portion sizes naturally shift too. The body needs nourishment, not overload. Meals built around vegetables, fiber, and lean sources of protein keep the metabolism calm and steady. Herbal teas, clear water, and mineral-rich broths soothe the digestive system and support hydration, which often declines with age. Too much caffeine or sweet drinks strain the body, raising stress hormones, spiking energy only to drop it again. Natural sweetness from fruit satisfies gently without overwhelming the system. There is also wisdom in mindful eating, chewing slowly, sensing flavors, appreciating nourishment rather than rushing through meals distracted. Stress during eating shuts down digestion. Peace during eating enhances absorption. When meals become prayerful moments of gratitude, digestion improves naturally and the heart settles too. Seasonings from nature, herbs, spices, garlic, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, can support circulation, metabolism, and immune strength. These are not exotic miracle cures. They are tools God placed in creation, waiting to be used with consistency and humility. And as we age, the focus shifts from chasing diets to building balance. No need for extremes or punishment, simply listening to the body, feeding it respectfully, and letting food serve its true purpose to fuel, to heal, to strengthen, to honor the life God placed within. Every meal becomes a choice, not of restriction, but of reverence. When we eat what supports life, life strengthens in return, and the body becomes ready each day to carry purpose with steadiness, clarity, and calm strength. The mind and spirit carry a weight in this season of life that the younger years could never fully understand. After 50, strength is not measured only in muscles or stamina, but in peace, in emotional steadiness, in the way a person can walk through life's storms without losing their center. What happens inside the heart begins to shape what happens inside the body. Worry can tighten the chest, loneliness can drain energy, resentment can harden the face and sour digestion more than any food. But gratitude, faith, connection, and calm are just as nourishing as vitamins, sometimes even more. This is why nurturing the inner life becomes inseparable from caring for health. It is not weakness to rest emotionally. It is not indulgence to protect peace. The mind is a garden, and whatever we plant begins to shape who we become, especially now when life invites reflection, wisdom, and deeper purpose rather than noise and hurry. Daily practices shape this inner strength. Beginning and ending with prayer steadies the soul and lowers stress that quietly damages the body when ignored. Taking time to breathe deeply, to release tension, to forgive, to let go of past hurts. These are not abstract spiritual ideas. They are biological medicine. The nervous system relaxes. Blood pressure softens. Inflammation lowers. Memory sharpens. This is the connection between faith and physiology. God designed us so that peace nourishes the body just as surely as food does. And surrounding yourself with uplifting people matters more than ever. Companionship protects the heart from isolation, which has been shown to affect health as deeply as poor lifestyle habits. Laughter lightens the body. Warm conversations restore hope. Sharing life with family, friends, community, or even simple daily interactions keeps the mind engaged and the heart awake. Learning new things also protects longevity. Reading, listening, exploring new skills, keeping curiosity alive. A still mind is not the same as a quiet mind. A quiet mind can be alive, observant, growing in thoughtfulness. Movement of the body paired with movement of the mind keeps aging from becoming stagnation. Purpose becomes fuel too when a person wakes up with something meaningful to do, to serve, to create, to care, to contribute. The body responds with strength and energy. Purpose gives structure to the day and prevents the spirit from shrinking. And spiritual nourishment, scripture, praise, gratitude, builds resilience, helping the heart stay soft, hopeful, and steady even when life brings challenges. Resting the mind at night is as important as resting the body. Turning off noise, stepping away from screens, letting thoughts settle through prayer or calm reading prepares the brain for restoration while sleeping. Just as food and movement shape the body, thoughts shape the nervous system, and beliefs shape the emotional world. After 50, life becomes less about speed and more about depth. The body still matters, but the inner life matters even more because strength in this season rises from the spirit first and then flows outward into habits, choices, relationships, and health. The more we cultivate peace, purpose, faith, and connection, the more the body responds with energy, clarity, endurance, and quiet joy. And so when we talk about dates like November 1, 2025, it's not to stir panic or chase mystery. It's a reminder, a holy nudge, a moment God uses to whisper, take your life seriously. Care for what I've given you. Your purpose is not finished. Every breath you have right now is proof that heaven still has work for you to do. You are not too late. You are not too old. Your body can rebuild. Your mind can renew. Your spirit can rise again. But it begins with daily faithfulness, with treating your health like a God-given assignment, not an afterthought. So lift your head, strengthen your steps, nourish your body, quiet your spirit, honor the morning, protect your peace, and walk into each day with the steady confidence that your greatest season can still be ahead of you. The world may count years, but God counts purpose. And your purpose is still alive, waiting for you to step forward with faith, discipline, and gratitude in every breath you take.